So I have a question for you. What does my dad and Donald Trump have in common?
No idea.
Never met the guy. Just start to catch on. Yeah. I wore this shirt tonight because it seemed appropriate tonight. I don't know if you guys have this problem. My mom just buys me like really dumb shirts all the time, right? She got this one from a flea market. She was so excited to tell me. But she bought it, and I felt like it was appropriate for tonight. It goes, "I'm so cute, I must be Polish." Yeah, woo, I guess. Who's ever looked at a Polish person before and been like, he's the one? That pale skin and flat head and the way he pushed on a pulled door. No one's ever done that before. You see an Italian, you're like, yep. Polish people, you're like, next. I'm like, all right, Mom. It's fine, we can laugh. Who's here Polish? Make a round of applause. Fuck yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good. All right, I don't know why we're all that happy about it, but I stood outside for like an hour today. I'm fucking fried. Like, it's not a good time. It's fine, it's fine. But I just got into a relationship. Thank you, one person. It's a girl. I feel like I should say that now. But it's a girl, and we've been dating for about 3-4 months now, and she's great. I'm obsessed about her. The only problem I have with her so far is, I don't know why, but she won't fart around me. Yeah, no, she won't fart, she won't poop. I don't get it. I don't get what's the point with you girls at first. You're like, what? No, not me. I'm different. It's like, what? Do you want us to lick your butt? Is that what it is? No, you could just ask. We're pretty easy with that stuff. But no, it's on our first date, we went to go get Mexican food. And this was after she told me she was lactose intolerant. And you know where this is going. But after the date, I'm driving, I'm like, oh, I've had such a great time tonight. She's like, yeah, me too. And as I'm driving, I just go, I'm like, what is that? And she's just looking forward like, I'm like, you good? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, did you fart? And she's like, what? No, me? Never. I'm like, are you sure? She's like, yeah. And I'm just like, I didn't get it. It was summertime, okay? She could have rolled down the window. I drive a Jeep. We could have taken the top off. Instead, she just lets one rip. She's like, I hope that doesn't smell. And I'm like, you can be honest with me. Did you fart? She's like, no, maybe there's stables nearby. I'm like, stables? We're in Flint. There's no stables nearby. You could have said Flint. I would have believed you. It is what it is. Ma'am, I have a question for you. What does my dad and Bernie Sanders have in common?
I feel like maybe he's met Bernie.
No, I jerk off to the thought of them ruining my life. Plot twist. Yeah, some of you are like, I know this one. You were wrong. I'm not a fan of kids. Who here has kids? 9 people? The rest of us are cool? What's up? I love freedom, but no, my ex, she had a son. He was a peach. He was a shithead for sure. I should start off by saying real quick, I learned really fast that you can't call a 6-year-old a shithead. Apparently, Mom doesn't like it. But he was a shithead for sure. Like, the first couple months of us dating, he would call me Michael. All the time. He'd just be like, hey, Michael, quick question. I go, who's Michael? He's like, don't worry about it. And we just leave the room. Oh, he did it all the time. Like, the first, like, there was one day she sent me a Snapchat, and she was like, hey, we're going to Justin's house. He's like, yeah, Justin's house. And the second he gets out of the car, he's like, what's up, Michael? I'm like, fuck you, kid. You're too good at this. There was this other thing he used to do, too, where he would, like, insult me out in public and then scream roasted at the top of his lungs. So there was this one time we're getting breakfast, right? And he wanted ice cream for breakfast. I said, no, buddy, you can't have ice cream for breakfast. He goes, all right, you're fat. Roasted! I'm like, all right, kid, you want to knock it off? Only fuck your mom. And he kept going. He kept going. He's like, your teeth are weird. Roasted! I'm Like, all right, keep telling me more. I can't do anything. I'm the boyfriend. I can't hit him. I can't yell at him. I can't do anything. So we get up to the register, and I'm paying the bill, and he goes, can I have a sucker? And I said, no, I'm not going to reward you for bad behavior. He goes, all right. He lifts up my shirt. He pokes me in the stomach and goes, you're fat, you're bald, and you're ugly. Roasted! And I snapped, and I hit him. I hit him with the truth. I leaned in and said, hey, buddy, right before we went out to breakfast, your mom gave me a blowjob, and then Kim gave you a kiss. Roasted! Thank you, guys. I'm Justin Pettit.
How you guys feeling? Make some noise. Yeah. I look like Justin before he lost the weight. I have an eating disorder called bulimia. Fuck all of you. I can hear your thoughts. No, he doesn't. You don't look like that when you have that. I've been watching a lot of teacher porn lately. Anybody else? It's got me thinking, like, what teachers would actually be the best to hook up with? Like, what do you guys think? Subject-wise, let's throw some out there. What do you think? Sixth grade? We may need to call somebody on that guy. What else we got? Had that ready to go. Science, that's good. They can tell you how big your thing is in centimeters. That's good information to have. Always bigger. I think special ed teachers are the best to hook up with. Because, like, okay, I remember being in school, right, and they'd have that table where all the special ed kids would eat, and every day the teachers would be there helping them get their lunches ready. Well, one day this kid, Brian, he's just freaking out, he's having a bad day, he's spazzing. He looks at the teacher and goes, hey, fuck you! Just spit in her face. I know. She didn't bat an eye, she didn't even look over at him, she just kept opening up his chocolate milk and nothing happened. I remember thinking, that's exactly the energy I need in the bedroom, right there. That's what I need. Couple teachers in here. I see you. It's okay. There's a worker shortage happening. That's kind of interesting. I'm a pretty liberal guy, so when I heard about the worker shortage, I was like, fuck yeah, take down the capitalist system. You're not going to pay us, you're not going to get this work. And then I went to Taco Bell at 8:30 and they were closed. I became a Republican real fucking quick. I'm like, nah, bro. Time to get off unemployment. Daddy needs a chalupa. Stat. Where do I sign up to get my bad hairline and a gun? You know, I'm like, I'm ready to vote. Let's go. No, we do need to pay customer service workers more. I think we can all agree on that, right? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's hear it for customer service, for sure. Yeah, I've worked in customer service a lot of my adult life because I'm crushing it. And I used to work at Office Depot, and people would come in just acting weird. They'd have questions about pens. I feel like if you have questions about pens, you shouldn't be voting, and I feel strongly about that. It's a fucking pen. The only question I should be able to ever answer is for like a colorblind person asking what color the pen is. But other than that, get out of here. This one guy, he would come in and try to negotiate over shit. Like this one day he walks in, he grabs a thing of paper off the register, off the thing, and he goes, it's $10. It says $10 right in the front. He brings it up to me, and he goes, I'll give you $5. He's confident as shit like that. I'm like, it says $10 right there, man. It's $10. He's like, you don't understand. I've been a customer of this Office Depot for 10 years. You need to give me a discount. I'm like, well, I am making minimum wage. You don't give a shit. So that's just so ridiculous to me. Like, it's a national chain. You're trying to negotiate prices like I set them. That's the equivalent of my fat ass going to McDonald's, ordering a Big Mac. When they ask for money, I just show them my stretch marks. Say, clearly I'm a value customer. Get out of here. It's not how it works. I had to go to the doctor recently for my annual weigh-in. That's how often I do it, just the once a year. 380 pounds, so exactly what he was before the pandemic. And yeah, we saw that number, and she's like, we should probably do some blood tests. I'm like, that's probably a good call on your part. I can see why you have a degree. And so we do the test. That's where like they check for like your sugar, cholesterol, AIDS, all that good stuff. And everything's where it should be. Everything's good, which I was happy about. But look, what pissed me off is the way she read back the results. Because like a doctor having to give good news to a fat guy is a lot like the judge who had to read not guilty at the OJ trial. Just like, it says you're good, but I know you fucking did something, all right? See you in civil court, I guess. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna stop going, because like, I don't know, doctors annoy me, because when you're fat, it doesn't matter what you go in there for. Somehow it's about your weight, right? Like, I could walk in there with a freaking knife sticking out of my forehead. They'd be like, let me guess, fell for the knife in the bucket of chicken trick again? What? That's not even a thing. I could go to the emergency room with a gunshot wound. They'd be like, maybe if you were skinnier, people wouldn't want to shoot you. I don't know. I don't know. And like, it always just becomes me paying $80 for somebody in a coat to call me a fat fuck. My grandma will do it for free. She's not going to try to finger me afterwards. Unless you ask nicely. She's very accommodating. I'm starting to believe I have like cockroach genes though too. Because like, I'm in pretty good health and I shouldn't be. Like I have friends that like work out daily, eat right, get great sleep, and still got cancer. You know, I look like this. You know, I overeat, I eat fast food, I chain smoke cigarettes, I drink all the time, get awful sleep. And I've had almost no heart attacks. I've had almost none. Because when you're poor and you don't have insurance, they don't call it a heart attack, they call it a heart event, like it's a fucking quinceañera or something. Brought to you by Taco Bell and KFC. I don't know, man. I've come from a pretty white trash family. Anybody else in here white trash? I could sense you. Yep. If you don't know the difference between white trash, white people, and regular white people, white trash white people looked at every privilege offered to them and sold it for Oxycontin. It's the truth. Like, the only reason I'm alive today is because the abortion clinic doesn't take beer cans as payment, you know? My mom was out there with a bag. You take these? No? Okay. You got layaway? No, they don't do layaway either. Apparently. My parents did a lot of drugs when I was growing up, and which is fun, it's fun. It was never the fact that they did drugs that bothered me, it's how they acted when they weren't on drugs. You know, addicts can kind of be assholes. Like one time they sold my Xbox for crack money. I know, it's fucked up. What pissed me off is when I came home and asked my mom about it, she looked me dead in the eyes and goes, "You never had an Xbox." Bitch, I never had an Xbox. Do you know how confident you have to be to try to gaslight a 12-year-old that hard? She was like a crackhead Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is not the tweaker you're looking for. The fuck? Like, I don't know. Obviously, I've got a lot of mental illness in my family. You know, my mom is severely bipolar. My great-grandma was schizophrenic. I'm depressed. My dad's Republican. And, you know, we deal with it how we can. I've battled depression, you know, since I was in high school. And it was kind of interesting at the time because it was during the whole emo phase, right? So being depressed kind of made you cool. Like skinny jeans were a big thing, and I was a fat kid, so all of my jeans were skinny jeans. You know? But like I had some rough times. I tried to take my life, and I'll talk about it, you know. And when you hear people talk about their experiences, or you probably know somebody, they always say things like, God was looking out for me in that moment, and I thank God every day that I'm alive. I like to think the poor structural integrity of my bedroom ceiling fan wasn't built to sustain a 200-pound 8th grader, you know? I mentioned my dad's Republican, but he's a cool guy. He has his moments, you know. He caught me jerking off once when I was younger. He was real cool about it. You know, because like I'm 25, so porn and like all that changed a lot growing up. Like when I was younger, if you wanted to watch porn, you either had to like find like an old stash of magazines, or you had to go into the family living room onto that old ass computer, at like 3 in the morning, like a ninja just sneaking in. And it was that same computer that had pictures of your grandma on them, you know? And it would take forever to load, and once it did, it would stop and buffer every 30 seconds, which is why I have a cum denial fetish today. And by the time I was in high school, right, things advanced, smartphones became a thing, and so I could just watch porn anywhere, and it wasn't weird. It's a little weird. But this is my whole routine, right, is I would go to school, I'd come home, I'd turn on the TV to drown out any of those noises, and I would just go to work. You know what the noise is. And one day I come home, I turn on the TV, and Lion King's on the TV, and I'm like, dope, I'm gonna watch that after, but I don't want Mufasa's death throwing me off my game. So I put both headphones in, and I don't hear my dad coming down the stairs. So my dad opens the door to see his only son jerking off to the fucking Lion King. And he never said anything about it, he was cool, he just kind of nodded, he's like, I get it, we're animals, it's fine. That Nala is a piece of work. And then a few years later, I was in college, and I get a package from my dad. I open it up, and it's a 24-pack of Trojan condoms. And on the front of it, he just wrote, Hakuna Matata, motherfucker. That's my time, guys. I am Cam Honeyegger. Give us a Brian.
Over here on the west side is kind of crazy for me. It is. I remember when back in the day when you couldn't walk through here being brown and shit. For real, for real. I remember when I was a kid, when I was born, I'm from my mom's second set of kids, right? You know, second set of kids. And my brother was the first Hispanic to go to school at Union High School, right? So he befriended a bunch of white people and shit, and I met them all, right? A bunch of girls and everything like that, and it was awesome and shit. And he had this one that I used to just love when I was a kid. She was a big thick. She was like thick Polish girl, you know, booty and titties. That's what she was. I loved her. When I was little, I was probably about 5 or 6 years old, and I used to just love hugging her. And my face would always be in her titties. Like, I remember that and shit. Then later on in life, I ran into her. I was like in my young 20s and shit, and she was, 40 or some shit like that. She was old as fuck and going through a divorce and drunk. She was like, oh, you're so cute, just like when you was little. I'm like, I ain't little no more. She was like, oh yeah? She says, well, I'm separated from my husband right now and I'm staying with a friend. I'm like, yeah, so we going there tonight? And she was like, yeah, we are. I'm like, bet that. So she took me to a basement in some West Side house around here somewhere close by. And we were on one of them fucking fold-out cots things, you know? You know what I'm talking about, right? And it was like positioned in the corner of the basement, and I was giving her the fucking business in that thing. We were wrestling. That's what I call it, wrestling. Not wrestling, wrestling. I had her legs, both of them on my shoulders, like giving her, her calves were like this big. And I am fucking giving her the business. She was like, ha, 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 ha. And I was like, I was grinding it good, right? And all of a sudden, she thrusted her legs forward, threw me off of her. We slid away from the wall that I was pushing off of to get in there as deep as possible with the uppercut, you know? Hey, and she thrusted me off of her like that, right? And then my face slapped her cootie. Like slapow, like it was wet and sticky. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm here. And I just started going, her cooter looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy's belly. But I opened that bitch up and found that man in the boat. And I started giving her the business. Sucking and licking at the same time. You know what it is. And she was like, ah! And then she put this vice grip on my fucking head. I swear I couldn't hear, see, breathe, nothing. And then she turned me sideways, and my neck was like, clock, clock, clock. But I did not let go of that man on the boat. I'm in it to win it. And I could not believe how she just jizzed all over my face like that. It was disgusting and beautiful all at the same time. And I told her, yeah, motherfucker. 2 weeks later, I run into her at Kmart with her husband. I just looked at her like, She walked away and she was like, I'll call you. All I could think was, you hoe. I was a hoe, man. I fucked them all, man. My dick did not discriminate. It didn't. I was just like, now, I can't do that shit. I'm gonna be 54 next month. Give it up for that. 54. Yeah, fuck you guys. I fucking hate it. I hate getting old, man. My dick don't work the way it used to. I used to be able to shoot one and hit the camera from here. Bah! Now that shit just dribbles off my knuckles and shit. I have no air time. None. I remember one time a girl was jumping on me, and I was like, oh my God, I'm about to get this motherfucker pregnant. So I snatched her off me, and then it just shot into the air. And then there was a moment of silence to listen to where the fuck that was gonna land. And then, right in the face, I was like, this is some bullshit right here. But I think I love you. It is. I was reflecting on my life with this COVID shit, you know, the COVID, you know, I'm home and shit. I'm telling you, man, I'm glad I was married when the COVID shit hit, because being single in COVID is fucked up. You can't get no pussy when you're COVID going on. You're not worried about getting AIDS or herpes or anything else. You're worried about getting the vid. Right? Shit, I was lucky. I think that kept me, you know, grounded and shit. I've never been this damn faithful in my life. This is my 4th marriage and shit. I know, I'm on year number 4 and shit. I'm like, it's a record right now. 10 years with the same woman. I don't even got no side pieces or nothing. For real. Thank you for that. But I got a Viagra in my pocket and I'm drinking beer, so don't tell nobody. I love that I'm getting older and shit, and I got grandbabies and stuff. Anybody got grandbabies in here? I know, I got grandbabies and shit. I thought I was doing something, infiltrating the white race by getting white girls pregnant and shit. That don't work good when your kids have kids with more white girls and shit. Now I just diluted all my shit. I got a grandson. This mug's got blonde hair and blue eyes and shit. I took that fucker to the mall and he acted crazy in the damn kids section. You know how you take him over there to play. I'm like, all right, it's time to go. He's like, I'm not ready to go yet. And I'm like, yes, you are. So he made me chase him around the area. And then when I caught him, he did that weak leg shit, you know? And I'm over here trying to stand him up and give him the business. And the white people are freaking out. They're like, oh my God. They're like ready to whistle. If they would have had whistles, they're like, a Mexican is trying to steal a white baby. Some lady walked up to him like, are you okay? He's like, yeah. They're like, do you know him? He's like, yeah, he's my grandpa. They looked at me like, I'm like, if I was gonna steal one, I wouldn't steal one that weighed this much. He's a big motherfucker. He's only 7. He weighs like 100 pounds. 120. He's thick. I'm like, damn, that's what I get for fucking with thick-ass white girls. I love them, though. I don't know why. I love thick-ass white girls like that. They can't sit on your face. Well, they can. You just suffocate when it happens. You just got to be able to take a deep breath. And then take it like a champ. But I'm glad this COVID thing is over with because, man, I've seen some people go through some shit. Like one of my buddies, this motherfucker was all excited and shit. He said, my girl went on a virtual toy show. She bought some shit. I'm like, what'd she buy? He said she bought these beads on a string. I'm like, oh man, that sounds like bad news to me. He's like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, okay. A couple of days later, he came to work. He could barely sit down. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, you don't want to know. I'm like, yes, I do. He said, remember them beads? I was like, yeah, you showed me the picture of them. And they were like, one is this big, and then they just get bigger. The last one is like this fucking big. This big. I'm like, bro, don't tell me you let your wife stick them beads in your booty like that. He's like, he couldn't even look me in the eye. He's like, I did. I'm like, shut the fuck up. How many did she get in there? He's like, 6 of them. I'm like, damn! 6 6 fucking beans? He's like, yeah, then she got the nerve to get mad at me when she was trying to stick that 7th one, and I was like, no, I can't take it no more. I said, what'd she do? He said, she ripped them out of me like, I was like, what happened? He was like, I shit everywhere, bro. And she had the nerve to be mad at me because I fucked the sheets up. I'm like, God damn, sounds like a real shitty night. He said, promise you won't tell anybody. You guys better shut the fuck up. Don't tell him I told you guys. But why would he tell me, of all people? I wouldn't have told me. Fucking sticking them balls in my ass like that. Fuck. I don't like all that ass play like that. Not anymore. I'm getting old and shit. That's why I got married. This shit I don't want to do. Like, I don't want to take my clothes off in front of everybody like that. Like, when I was younger, I used to just rip my shirt off like, here, motherfucker, look at this chest. Now I got titties and shit. I want them seeing that. Girls out here eating groceries and shit. I don't want them licking this booty hole. Not this one. It looks like I got blueberries hanging out that motherfucker. It's disgusting. I know my butt's in bad shape when my turds look like them star candies, you know, with the swirl on them. Yeah, I know. I need to see a doctor soon. But I want to see them. Like, I'm at that age where they got to do that lower GI. Right, fellas? No, y'all, you young motherfuckers. Fuck you, young motherfuckers. I hate you motherfuckers, man. I hate young people the most, man, I swear. You guys got all the amenities. Like porn? God, I wish I had that kind of porn when I was young, where you just open your phone and pull up anything. Midgets. Goats. All right, not goats, but all kinds of shit. Us? We had magazines. Remember that shit? You can't even hide them bitches when somebody busts you. And you know what's the worst? I remember my favorite magazine. There was this fucking girl on there, Latina. She was bad as fuck. But the worst part about that whole damn page was there was a little midget with a dick that hung down to the floor. How can you concentrate on busting a nut when this dude is looking you dead in the eye? No matter where you put the magazine, that motherfucker was making eye contact with you. It makes it really hard to concentrate to come with that shit. It's just my life. I still came though. Anyway, that's my time. My name is Kagan. You guys have a nice night.